Hello, everybody. I am Michelle Farrell, and I am joined by my wonderful co-host and business partner, Dana Marie Sensis, and we are Empowered to Advocate, and we are super, super excited to be starting our Empowered to Advocate podcast so that we can bring our mission of helping parents and caregivers feel empowered to be the best advocates for their children in this other variation, this other media. So we're super excited to be here today. Hey, Dana Marie.
Hi.
Our purpose today is just to kind of tell you a little bit of who we are and what services we offer and how to connect with us and the best way to connect with us. If you are feeling like you're a little confused with how to navigate the special education process, if your child has an IEP, does not have an IEP, schedule a 20-minute consult with us, either with the link in the show notes or at empoweredtoadvocate.com and set up. It's free, and we can just chat about your needs and how we can best support you. So Dana Marie, why don't you talk a little bit about who you are?
So, hi, everybody. Like Michelle said, I am Dana Marie. I am one half of Empowered to Advocate, formerly a high school teacher, history, special education, and also a high school team chairperson for special education. I am currently completing my PhD in education leadership policy studies, while also working with Empower to Advocate and working with parents and caregivers this school year, helping them navigate the special education process. I'm really excited. This is not Michelle's first podcast, but it is my first podcast, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with people, like Michelle said, through this medium, in addition to all of the other ways that we know you all and have connected with you all over the last year.
Yay! So I just feel so grateful to have this partnership with you, Dana Marie, so that we can really help and support as many parents and children as we can. So a little bit about me. I have been a special educator for 2 decades, believe it or not. And I work in a K-8 school currently. I have also worked in an out-of-district private school for students primarily with autism diagnosis. I've worked in a co-teaching classroom for 8th grade, and I've worked in 6th grade. I did small group math pullout for a while. And now, most recently, I have been the special education team chairperson at my school for, I think this is my 9th year doing it. Yeah. So it's been a long time. So I have seen and worked with many, many students, many, many families. I have written a bazillion IEPs, and one of the things I see the most, and I'm sure it's similar to you, Dana Marie, is just the confusion, the nervousness, the anxiety that caregivers come into the IEP process with, not really understanding what it is, why their child needs it or doesn't need it. And I just feel like if we can support folks with understanding the process and alleviating that and knowing that for the most part, the team process is really about being a team, not being about adversarial, not being about, butting heads, but truly being there to work together in a collaborative sort of process. And the more knowledgeable parents can be, the more likely that collaboration is going to happen.
Yeah, something I was actually thinking about today when I was taking my walk was that we often actually hear from people and get referral from other educators. And I think that just points to how niche and specialized the special education part of public education is. And so even folks who work in schools, who have worked in schools for 10, 15, 20 years, administrators, I just talked to a new first grade teacher last week or the week before, and even people in schools can be confused, and it's totally reasonable to be confused. Like I said, it's a really specialized part of education, special education. And unless you've been like Michelle and I as a team chairperson for many years, or you've worked as a special educator, if you work in another area of school or with another group of students, you just might not know everything. We talk a lot about, one thing we want to do is break down a barrier for parents so that they're not sifting through case law and procedural safeguards and hundreds of thousands of articles on the internet with telling them all different things. There's just so much information out there, and there's just so many nuances to the special education process that one thing that we really want to do is kind of cut through that for parents and give them sort of an easier avenue to sort of understanding how to advocate for their kid.
Yeah. And I think, the ultimate goal here is for parents to eventually not need us anymore, to be able to feel confident and feel capable, to feel empowered to go into a meeting and know that they know what they're talking about, know that they know what to ask for, what questions to ask, how to be prepared for a meeting. And I think also sometimes like advocates get a bad rap. Like school teams can feel very nervous when an advocate comes in on the scene. And I think that there's, there's can always be somebody who is not about creating that team feeling, right? But that's not everybody. So if you're an educator and you have an advocate walk into your team meeting, know that they're there to support the child, right? They're there to support the parents, and it shouldn't make you feel nervous about what you're doing. It should just, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for the student, for the child, to the best of your ability, then everybody's on the same page, right?
I think we forget too that it's much like every other industry, right? Like I actually just today had a phone call with a copy editor, somebody who is going to be copy editing some of the work that I've written over the last couple of years. And that's his specialty. That's not my specialty. And it's okay to have somebody who it is their specialty to help you through a process. That's kind of how I see an advocate. It's like going into your doctor's office, right? You don't know everything the doctor knows. You do not know everything the nurse knows, or the nurse practitioner, or the administrative assistant in the doctor's office. They just have a different base of knowledge than you do, and you rely on them, obviously for their knowledge, but sometimes you need support through that as well. And sometimes you need other people who can help you navigate the plethora of information that's involved. And that's kind of how I think of what we do as coaches, as parent coaches, and as advocates for kids and families is we're just somebody who specializes in that particular area, who can help not just the parents and caregivers, but the school teams, the teachers, everybody else, the specialists, kind of get through the process in a way that helps the child to the best of everyone's ability.
Yeah, we're not about we gotcha, or let's catch you in something. Like, that's not what it's about. Because ultimately a team that feels adversarial is not going to have the best time supporting the child. And that's who it's all about. That's who it's all about.
Nobody wants to be in those meetings. Nobody wants to have those conversations. Like, let's come together as a team, as a group, and work together. Everyone bringing their own expertise and knowledge base, and see what's the best way that we can help this particular child or student.
Always assuming that everybody at that table has the best intentions to be the best that they can be for the child.
Yeah.
So Dame Marie, what are some of the ways that we work with parents? What are some of the ways that we can support people? So before somebody schedules a consult with us, what might they be looking at in a way to work with us?
I was just thinking, we've said a lot about why we're doing this, but not exactly what we do.
Yeah.
So,
what do we do?
I think it's partly we don't lean in with that because we kind of do a little bit of everything. And that's because we tailor every single one of our services to the parent, to the family that we're working with. So for instance, some of the families that we work with, they work with us for a 3 or 4 month period. And so it's more of like a subscription service where they pay us a flat fee and then we kind of work with them throughout the entire process. So for instance, if a child's going through an initial or a reevaluation, the family might reach out to us to help them start the process, send a letter to the school to ask for an evaluation, to walk them through the process, to walk them through the evaluations, to maybe even attend the eligibility meeting with them. So that's one option. We have other folks who come and ask us to review IEPs or to review previous evaluations that have been completed for their child to see if anything was missed or to kind of get a second set of eyes. We offer observation services where one of us will go into your child's classroom and conduct an observation and share with you and the school team a report. What are some of the things we observed? What are some of our recommendations for moving forward? How can we support the child kind of as a whole team? We do, like typical advocates, we do attend IEP meetings as well or other school-based meetings. We don't have to do that. You can kind of work with us behind the scenes and we can help you, like I said, with writing letters and emails to school teams and going over documentation and reviewing the IEP and giving it feedback. And then you feel confident and you go into the IEP meeting on your own or with your partner or spouse or a family member. That's something that we do as well. So that's just a few different options because, like I said, quite honestly, we use that 20-minute consult at the beginning of the process to speak with parents and families and see exactly what they need before we move forward, before we propose kind of how we think we can help them, because we've never, I'll speak for myself, but I think I'll speak for both of us when I say I've never had 2 cases or 2 children or 2 families that are the same. It's just
exactly.
And so we don't want to say that this is what we do. This is our one service that we can offer parents, take it or leave it, because that just doesn't make sense. In special education, it's not what we would want folks to do in schools. And it's certainly not what we want to do as coaches and advocates.
Putting the I back in individualized. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I think, our goal for this first episode was to just give you a little piece of who we are, why we do what we do, and, how to connect with us and what kinds of services and what you might expect when you work with us. But again, scheduling that consult with us to kick things off and answer your questions is really the best way to know that if we're a good fit to work with you too. So we hope that...
Sorry, speaking of where to find us, because we haven't said that either, you can find us at empoweredtoadvocate.com with the number 2. You can find us on Instagram with the same handle, Empowered to Advocate, on Facebook and LinkedIn with the same handle as
Pinterest.
Well. Pinterest, all the same. So if you have one of our names, you have them all. And obviously here as well, we will be dropping some new episodes soon. And so continue to follow us here, also at Empowered to Advocate. I think I covered them all.
I think so. And we also have an email. So empoweredtoadvocate@gmail.com. So pretty much anywhere you Google empowered to, it's the number 2 advocate. We should pop up as your peeps. So we're really looking forward to connecting with you, and we look forward to bringing you new episodes. And if you ever have a question that you would like for us to address, either in a podcast and or a blog, please let us know. You can email us at empoweredtoadvocate@gmail.com, and we can get that answered for you on an episode. All right. Thanks, everybody.